Dragonheir Silent Gods is finally live and it's the best time to dive into a tier list. Now we have around 200 heroes in the game and there's no secret, it can be pretty overwhelming when you're summoning and you have no clue what the heroes can do. Are they good? Where exactly are they the best? In what game mode? Because each one of them is shining in their own area, more or less. Of course, there are a few OP heroes that are good all around, but it's something to kind of like give you guys an idea on what to focus, right? Now, if you guys enjoy the content, I would greatly appreciate it. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I'm dropping daily guides on Dragonheir Silent Gods to basically help you and guide you in your experience with Dragonheir Silent Gods. We've created the ultimate tier list for you guys, but I'm gonna walk you through all that in just a second. First, I want to emphasize one point. Don't focus only on legendary champions. If you're going to be a low spender or a free to play, getting legendary champions will be very, very hard. Let's be honest, let's put that out from the very beginning. If you're a Kraken, yes, legendary champions will be the MVPs for your account most probably. But I do want to mention that we have a lot of diversity in the game. We have a lot of epics, we have a lot of rares, and a lot of them are actually very solid. You've heard that right. A lot of solid rares as well that will help you to progress, will help you to beat most of the content, you know? So when you are actually summoning something, it's good to know in what heroes to invest, basically. At the very beginning, you're gonna have the option to basically reset everything that you invested in a hero. That's gonna be for the very first 5 days, if I'm not mistaken. But after that, it's very important to make the right choices when you are actually picking your heroes. Now, we do have different elemental affinities in the game, and there are 6 to be more specific, and these are the combinations right here. When you are building the teams at the beginning, it's very important to keep an eye on this as well, because early on, getting the extra bonuses is very, very important if you want to have a stronger team. So poison goes with fire, we have radiance with lightning, and we have frost with necrosis. And that's for season 1. This will constantly evolve with every single season that's coming to the game. And how I mentioned, the ultimate tier list, guys, right here for you. Now, I'm gonna link this in the pinned comment so you guys can have access to it. We are working at finding different ways on how we can improve it. This was done in collaboration with Odd One Gaming and Sky. Both of them, they are doing content on a Dragonheir Silent God. So I just want to say a big shout out to my buddies for actually teaming up together and making this tier list for all of you guys to use. Basically, what we've done, guys, just to quickly explain you, we've split everything on different areas. So we have the Temporal Vortex, which is the clan boss. You have the Goblin Slayer. You farm that for XP. You have the Grave of Venom, the Grave of Curse, the Grave of Rot. They're giving you basically the gear. Then you have the you have the Heretical Ruins. You have the Ancient Battlefield, where you're getting your runes from. Then you have the tower defense, you have arena, and that's pretty much everything that we brought in the tier list at the moment. Now, you are unlocking different things in the very end game, which we haven't added in the tier list. We're gonna do that later on in the game. But basically, the way the overall rating works is that each one of these areas have an equal value. So you see, we have a lot of different ratings for all these heroes. Some of them are much better, some of them are not that great, but we went and rated every single hero in Dragonheir Silent Gods, including the commons. Now, the reason why I'm always saying it, even in Raid Shadow Legends, even in any other game when I'm making a tier list, there's no point to make a tier list as S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. You know why? Because each one of the heroes will work different in each one of the game modes. So just generalizing the hero all around will be a bit not only incorrect, but will be misleading for people to know how to use the heroes and where to use them. That's why we decided that we're gonna do it based on game modes, on different areas. Like this, you're really gonna get the best value out of your hero. For example, let's just say we're getting this hero, right? We're getting Zephy. He's a lightning hero and is only a 4 in the Temporal Vortex. Is a 1 in the Goblin. And if I'm gonna rate this champion as a B tier, even though he's gonna be S tier in some game modes and he's gonna be D tier in other game modes, you're gonna be like, well, this is an average hero. But actually, he's not a bad hero, you know what I mean? So it all depends where you're using the hero. You see, like, he has 1 in Ancient Battlefield, he has 1 in Tower Defense. Overall, he's only a 3-point but he's still a good hero if you're using him in the right area. So that's the main thing that you guys gotta keep in mind when we are talking about the tier list. It's very important to be aware of all this. So some of the ratings are actually juicy. We do have a few 5s in here. The way we actually rated them is based on their mechanics. So if their mechanic doesn't do anything to help you in a specific game mode, that hero got a 1, regardless of what sort of rarity he is, because it's not beneficial there. It's actually just gonna cripple your team, regardless if he's a legendary, mythical, or diamond hero, or whatever it is. You know, we don't have that, but just as an idea, you know. So we went in, we put all the elements for them. Of course, we started by going from legendaries, going to epics, then we went all the way down to rares, guys, and we have quite a few solid rares. And then we went to commons. Now, the next couple of things that we're going to try to do is basically to put filters in. So you're going to be able to search the champion by name. You're going to be able to filter them just by legendaries, just by epics, just by rares, just by commons. At the moment, we cannot do it because you're only going to be in view mode. We don't really want to drop this out for editing and stuff, because other people can just literally copy paste all your work. They can do it anyway, you know, but hey, it's just kind of like having that limitation for the moment. We're gonna find a better way to put that all in place, guys. But I do want to have an overall rating filter too, basically to show you from the very top all the way to the bottom, the best hero in the game, and going slowly down. Now, of course, each one of them, how I mentioned, will be very strong in specific areas. We have a few 5s, like we have Erich, which is a very good DPS, and he's gonna help you everywhere, more or less, you know, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. The next thing that you do need to keep in mind is the elemental affinity bonuses and the way they combo the teams. A lot of the rally heroes, they need other rally heroes to work, so when we've done that as well, we took that in consideration that yes, if I'm using a rally hero, I'm gonna bring in another rally hero with him to actually make the most out of him, you know. If not, it's gonna be pretty pointless to have that one specific hero. It's same with the summoners, with the necrosis, for example, with most of them, and same with the dauntless hero. You know, you need to have more if you want to make them work properly, if you really want to bring their full potential out, you know. So that's another thing that you need to keep in mind. We did kind of like gave them a bit of a role in here. We kind of explained what they are, so it's a bit easier for you guys to understand what that hero will do for your team. So for example, we have Garika, right? Buffs plus debuffs. So it's a bit of support sort of vibe in there, you know. Then for example, we have Suta. So that's a dauntless DPS hero, you know. So that will give you an idea, like, okay, DPS, that means that we're gonna do a pretty good job all around. For the Goblin Slayer, for example, or even for the tower defense, you want to have damage dealers. You don't need support in there. Like for the goblins, is basically killing the waves as fast as possible to complete the dungeon run. Tower defense, again, there you gotta keep in mind, are they melee? Are they range heroes? Because if they're melee, they're not really moving positions, right? If they're long range, they can shoot around. It doesn't really matter. So that again adds a bit of a factor in there when you are actually rating the hero, you know. So you might see some of them being very weak in the tower defense, in the Goblin Slayer and Ancient Battlefield. If they're buffing a lot, that's bad, because the more buffs the boss takes, the more powerful it gets, so he's gonna smack you around. So all these things are very important to kind of like keep an eye on, you know, because if you are not paying attention to this, you're constantly going to fail in that content, and you're gonna wonder, now, why is this happening? You know, what am I doing wrong? Well, we're trying to basically make you aware of it before it even starts, you know, to be aware that, yes, I need only damage in the Goblin Slayer. That's why all the support heroes that don't do damage at all, they're rated 1, because they're not really gonna help me in there. Ancient Battlefield, while all these heroes buff, you know, are not gonna help me there. I cannot use that hero, even though he's an SS tier. That hero actually makes me lose the fight because he buffs too much. He's not good for this dungeon. Or, oh, I have a full team of SS heroes. You know what? I'm failing in the tower defense because they're all just buffing around and supporting and not doing damage. So you're not able to win the game mode. So hopefully this will be clear for you. If you guys have different ideas as well, please let me know in the comments down below. Of course, we're open to feedback. The more feedback we get, the the better actually, but that's how our tier list looks for the moment, guys. And I do think personally that this is the best way to make tier lists based on different game modes rather than generalizing everything and not being very specific with what exactly you can do with the heroes, you know. How I mentioned, we are working on adding a few filters and things to make it a bit more user-friendly. At the moment, you can just do Control F, for example, and you're gonna be able to search in the sheet. For example, let's just say Huldork, and let's see, can we find Huldork? You see, it's finding it for you right here. So it's basically gonna show you what that hero can do. So if you have somebody that you summoned and you wanna check the ratings for it, feel free to click on the link in the description down below. I'm gonna pin this in my Discord as well, guys, if you wanna have more access to it from there too. And of course, click on it. Feel free to do Control F. This will be mobile friendly as well because it's a spreadsheet, so you're gonna be able to pretty much use it on any device. But that was all for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And yeah, good luck on your summoning. Hopefully you're gonna pull only amazing heroes. I do have quite a few on the test server here, but you know what? I'm waiting to play the account today now that the game is globally launched. I didn't want it to start on the early access servers. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.